People are asking many times this question. Good morning, it's like 8 days to Hanukkah, a wonderful day, and it's Erev Yutas Kislev. People ask about if you get phone calls for shidduchim, or if you make, is it permissible, and how does that work with Loshon hara? So, the Chofetz Chaim writes in the Shmiras Loshon, Klal Dalet. He writes that if a person's trying to make a business deal and he wants to know about the partner, so he's not looking to hear Loshon hara. He's here. He wants to know. He doesn't want to fall into the wrong shidduch, or fall into the wrong partnership. There's no problem at all, he says. Mutter lidrish v'lachker etzel anoshim al mehusa given the kanos l'teves atzma levad kedei lo shloit stark achikach lavel de ezek matzah meriva v'chil Hashem. Nida li, says the Chofetz Chaim. Shetzorich lo yidia l'misha shol mi'ita shedoitz alas shidduch imo yekol inyan yishu ashtafkos. If you ask someone about a person, you have to be forthcoming and tell them you're asking for a shidduch. Otherwise, you're soliciting Loshon hara. He doesn't know why you're asking. If you're telling him you're asking for a shidduch, he's giving you information. He's not being Meidia Gnus Chaved. He's just trying to give you a portrait of a person. Is she the right girl for your son, or she's the right girl for you? So it's not Loshon hara. But if you didn't notify the person, then it's Loshon hara. One of the first Sheilos I got coming here in the basement of Mendel was like a welcoming thing that I couldn't believe it. But there's such Yiddish Shamayim. Early in the morning, I get a call from a couple that they were together at night, and in the morning they found blood on the sheet. So Mela, they want to know how to do tshuva. Unbelievable. Shaila came. It's not an uncommon Shaila. It could happen. Not a very uncommon Shaila. But coming from the Bronx, where there was all kinds of silly Shailas about how big the shmata has to be over the mirror when you're sitting jiva, this was a real Shaila. This was a real Shaila, a Yiddish Shamayim couple, very very serious Shaila. There is a tshuva from. There's a tshuva from the Rebbe Rashab. This tshuva is in the Igris Kodesh Chelak Aleph. It's 10 pages to one Rav and 10 pages to another Rav. It's Lania's Daiti was sent to the same Rav, but anyways, it was he sent it, I think, to the same two letters to two Rabbonim. One is Radatz Chen of Cherniga, and one is Reb Zalman Neinberg of Neville. Tov Reish Mem Ches means that the Rebbe Rashab is then 27 years old. His father passed away a couple of years before. A whole machloek is between him and his brother. The brother says, you be Rebbe, you be Rebbe. But we know that the end, the Rebbe Rashab is going to become Rebbe. At this point, the Rebbe Rashab is not Rebbe yet. And one of my favorite stories about the Rebbe Rashab is that the Rebbetzin, his mother, said that when they were children, and recently I think we spoke about the story that they were playing a game, Chosid and Rebbe. And the Rebbe Rashab and the Razor said, so the Razor said, I'm going to be the Rebbe and you're going to be the Chosid. The whole thing, and he went in and they asked him what's a skola, and he asked him Avoid and the fire. We spoke about this in Tishri. But the kid said, after the Rebbe Rashab asked him a thing to do tshuva, and he told him how to do tshuva, he said, you're never going to be a Rebbe. He said, no, I gave you a good tshuva for your Shaila. He said, no, but the Tata, when someone comes to ask him a Shaila, he gives a krechts. And you answered me straight off the cuff. There was no krechts, there was no nothing. In this Igris, you see the big krechts of the Rebbe Rashab. A couple comes to the Rebbe Rashab, and there's a Shaila. Shkoyach. Thank you very, very much. Just turn off the reverb, because it's going to... Thank you, Adam. So the Shaila that comes to the Rebbe Rashab is like this. There was a couple. There was a few more details in it. That right after they were together, she felt a whoosh, and they dried themselves with a shmata, he dried himself with a shmata and she dried herself with a shmata, and they saw it was full of blood. Next morning, she looked at her underwear, which she had taken off before she was with her husband. She didn't put it on until the next morning, and she saw a huge spot of blood, which was more than a kegris. And now they came to the Rebbe Rashab asking how they do tshuva for this. So the Rebbe Rashab, you see the krechts there. The Rebbe Rashab writes a tshuva, 20 pages. 20 pages printed is how many pages written? Yeah, so the Rebbe Rashab is a very young man at that point. Beautiful tshuva. So he's 27 years old. And he writes a tshuva to two of the Choshev el Chabad Rabbonim, Dat Chain and Zalman Naimak of Neville. And he's asking them and to help him. He writes, not Stamashayla. He's going through the whole sugya. And at the end, he finishes off with the last paragraph. Hina ish ve'isha yira lekim v'yireim l'nafshi asher nitnu b'isur chamer u'mevakshin kapona v'lo zoiz bakashose mikvoi teirose la'ayim b'chol zeh hodiketiv u'le'di'enim dvorim berurim la'mitose shal Torah. They don't publish here the answer to these two Rabbanim, but from the tshuva itself, you see where the Rebbe Rashab is leaning. And if you look in the Shulchan Aruch, it seemingly the answer is very simple, Akula.
He was
but
married?
Huh?
That time, 27, he was married?
Sure. Rabbeim got married when they were very young.
15.
Yeah, 15 was like, the cutoff. But the Rabbeim got married.
Wow.
Right. And they had big chassidim that got married even younger. That the Hill Parich, they called him the Cholamoyed, because he was wearing talis before he was wearing tefillin. So no, at 27 he was married for sure. So he wrote the tshuva, and the Chayda in the Shulchan Aruch, we'll look inside soon, is very simple akula. However, there's a tshuva from Nida B'Yehuda lechumra, and so he takes apart the Nida B'Yehuda. Since the day before Yutas Kislev, we know all the stories about the Nida B'Yehuda. The Baal Shem Tov was related to the Nida B'Yehuda. In the early years, he used to come, he stayed in his house. But he didn't want to be Mevatel Torah because the Nida B'Yehuda, even though the Nida B'Yehuda didn't like him, nicht gehalten von him. The Nida B'Yehuda was... So the Nida B'Yehuda used to pour tea for him, used to serve him, so he stopped staying in Nida B'Yehuda's house. He stayed in the Hektar Shtibel in the base, because he didn't want that the Nida B'Yehuda, who he called, he said that Nida B'Yehuda, they said all kinds of things. But the kids he said that he was Sarah Torah, so he didn't want him to be Mavatel Torah even for one moment. But there's a tshuva from the Nida B'Yehuda in the Yeridea, Kama Tzad the Gimel, where he writes about the new Siddur and the things, not the Siddur, the new Anhogis and the Chassidim, and a long tshuva and he against Chassidim, the kids. At the end, he writes a kapitel Tehillim that Yisharim Darka Hashem, Tzadikim Yelchul Bam, Pasuk says, Poishim Yikoshlu Bam. So instead of writing Poishim Yikoshlu Bam, he writes Chassidim Yikoshlu Bam. So in the later years, there's a story that there was a printer that was printing the Chuvas Nida B'Yehuda and asked one of the famous Chassidish Rebbes that he is reprinting the Chuvas. He wants to make a little revision. The Nida B'Yehuda accidentally changed a Pasuk in Tehillim. He wants to restore the Nusach to the real what David HaMelech says. Poishim Yikosh Lubam. In other words, he wanted to take out that steam. So that Chassidish Rebbe said, no, not Maska. He said, look, the Nida B'Yehuda took Poishim and turned them into Chassidim. And you're going to take the Chassidim and turn them into Poishim?
Who was it? Which Rebbe?
What a
There's not a Vayeshev.
That's a great That's a real Chassidish.
Yeah. So,
but it's Parsha can be a chassid in the level.
yeah, for sure.
That's what we say. There's all people.
Exactly, it gives us hope.
Get that and took out the next one after the Pasuk.
Maybe you should have taken out the whole tshuva. I mean, the whole tshuva is against.
Yeah.
But that was his... So, but this is far a day before Yutas Kislev, and you learn a tshuva where the Rebbe Rashab takes apart the Nida B'Yehuda, so it's a not bad thing. So let's learn it inside.
When did the Shaila on the Loshon hara came to the pool?
This is the Shmiras Loshon, the Chafetz Chaim.
No, the Shaila on the nida came to the Rebbe Rashab.
The Rebbe Rashab, the Rebbe Rashab. Yeah, a couple came to the Rebbe.
Similar to the Shaila that you had?
Yeah. That's not an uncommon Shaila. It can happen.
Yeah.
So in the case of the Rebbe Rashab, there was an extra thing that she found on her underwear, which she didn't put on and I'll explain why this adds to the Shaila. Because one of the reasons that there is to be Mekel is that who says that she saw the blood before? Maybe the blood came after the Bia. But in this case, she had taken off her underwear before she was with her husband. She didn't put her underwear back on. And she looked next morning and the underwear found a lot of blood, more than a kegris. So obviously she already had blood coming before she was with her husband.
But she didn't know.
She didn't know. She didn't know. Yeah. Let's look inside. That's the Sheilos of the Parsha because
And it was all the other
Harchokis
were checked off. In other words, it wasn't the day of the month. It wasn't anything else.
Right.
They
They
were
were
fine.
Yerushalayim. It wasn't the day of the month. So what do you want from them?
Right.
It's an oinus. So very good. Your mom is shitting on the right thing. But it's a Sheilos of the Parsha because Reuven is Yoshev Reuven al Aboyer. Now she says, what happened? Where was he? So let's look about the issue of the tshuva for boil nida. It's a pasuk b'Shulchan Aruch Yeridei Kupa Hesiv Dalet. Hoy misham mishamat ha'od of Amr Ladet Meisi. His wife says, I became tomei. Upirish miyad if he immediately slid out. Chayiv kodesh sheyitziyosei hanoah loy kibiyosei. The Gemara says in Shavuos that slitting out is as pleasurable as going in. So he's not. What should he do? Noed separnei raglov ba'oretz v'shoye below disha ad sheyomus ha'ever u'poirish be'ever meis. That's the din. Zog the Hagoah the Ramah v'yamale pachad v'reses al averi shebol yodei. He should be filled with pachad, which will help that the aver should die. He shouldn't have pleasure from her body now that she became a nida. If it was b'shoigit, she said, I feel blood. But he didn't know the din, and he slid out, but he was bekishui. So b'meila, it's an Indian of Kodesh, and the time by Samik you should bring a korban, because of the B'shoig you can bring a korban chatas. What should you do b'zman hazeh? Yisanaf mem yoim, you should fast for 40 days. Doesn't have to be day after day. You should fast 40 days, Monday, Thursday, or every Monday until he finishes fasting 40 days. And not to eat wine and bosa v'yayin, so we're both not to eat bosa v'yayin the night before and the night after. If you can't fast, some people can't fast that much. Yivda kol yom b'momen sheyitan l'tzedakah l'fi moment sheyesh le ke'osher yitan yoser k'tzas me'oni v'yesh lahachmir b'tshuvasei. The bottom line is to be machmir in the tshuva, not to be mekel. L'chol amar b'loshu tzursi loy, and the more tshuva he does, the better off. The woman doesn't need any kapara. The woman did nothing wrong, unless she did something wrong.
Well, she also had a no, but he was Yaitse.
So, but that was, like you said before, that was oines.
And he was too, because Lamaisa, it says tzaddikim are supposed to consider it like a shin dollars being machapid pray for them.
Yeah.
So, when he's Yaitse, it's like a shin dollars pray for him. He has no no. If
he had no, and if he had no, he doesn't do tshuva.
If he knows that he's doing,
then he doesn't have to do it. No, then he was kodesh be'evachai.
But I'm saying, but if she knows that this act increases, so how did he's not got? Is it totally in the no? Is it totally in the ma'aser?
It's totally in the hanoah.
Right.
So if he went up b'kishuya, that's the thing. He has to know. It's not shaykh not to.
Yes, sure it is. It's like a shin dollars being koyed for me. He knows that it increases. It's a ma'aser increases. How can he have a no from that?
What do you mean? That's the teva guf.
No, it's like that. The Shmuel says if you took away so how does a person have a no knowing that this is in ice increases? He does know. He knew, right?
No.
She said she's
not machal. It makes no difference.
Did he know or didn't he know?
It makes no difference. It makes no difference.
Doesn't she tell him? Oh, she didn't tell him.
She said she's a nida.
That's why he was yoitze.
So he should have stopped and not be yoitze. He should have stopped.
That's worse. Being inside, it's worse.
No. He has to stop on his track and wait until the Eva dies. He has to wait till the Eva dies.
That's a lot.
And not only that, he has to wait till the Eva dies, but he has to get filled with pachad to the effect that the Aver is going to die. If the Aver doesn't die, is that ayah that he's not masmala b'pachad.
Right.
Well,
but why is the yoitz even better? I mean, there's
no, he has to be masmala b'pachad until the Aver dies.
Right.
And once the Aver dies, he has no anoah.
Yeah, but then
what's
going
he's
out.
there longer. But then
Doesn't matter. Doesn't
That's what
matter.
I'm saying.
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter.
Women's not.
Because he has pachad, he has no anoah.
So why he has pach when he's yoitz too?
Right.
He has more pach.
This table is a goof.
It's mace.
There's more pach because it's in the science stage. Yeah, if he boyrech min avera. So he's staying inside, it's not being boyrech min avera.
I hear the Sheilos is good, but Lepoil, that's the Gemara Meforesh. The Gemara says, Anoah, it's Yosei can be Yosei. The Gemara holds that as long as he's in one place and not moving a drop, then there isn't Anoah.
Well,
I wouldn't think that way without the Gemara. I would
Yeah.
agree with you without the Gemara. But that's what the Gemara holds. That if he's in one place, there is no Anoah.
How he can stand in one place
It's very
at this
hard.
moment?
It's very hard. It's very hard. V'im shimshe shaloi b'shas vista. If she was with her husband not in the time of the Vesses, that's called oinus. They don't need kapara. Someone just hit on a good thing about the concept of oinus. Therefore, I want to look together on the Rambam. The Rambam clarifies what does oinus mean. Pasuk and Rambam.
Rabbi, one more question.
Yeah.
You're not going to even touch a nida.
Yeah.
So what do you mean when you stay inside? Every second you're touching a nida, you're over on a derabon, not the right. So.
Right, but he should. And that's what he said. He should. That's why he has to.
But it's fine. But his Aver's touching, so he's touching a nida.
That's EF. That's EF.
Yeah, unless it goes out.
Touching a nida and Be'ilas nida are not on the same level. He has no choice, and that's what the Gemara says that he should. That's the Gemara.
Because Chazal say right, just the slightest penetration is you're over.
Right.
And there's no in this first slightest penetration. Yeah, you're
Right.
still over.
Right.
So the fact that he's inside, it's also penetration. It may not be. He may stop, but it have a noira, but it's still penetration. So why do you want to end that this right away?
Whatever. That's the way the Gemara is
I know,
machriya.
right.
But it's takapela. It's takapela. But that's the way the Gemara is machriya. So the Rambam says, "Abol ishte shlevish as vista, vero adam b'shas tashmish." That it was not the time of the Vesses, and then there's blood. That's called onus. What's the difference of onus and shogig? Shogig hoyle libdik ladaktik. Ila bodak yofa the diktik b'sheilos of loyal bodak deshkoga. If shogig means he shouldn't find out. He ate a sandwich. If you knew, if this thing was negei benefesh, you know you might be playing with poison that will kill you, you would have asked a few more Sheilos. You went into the butcher's, I had a good hechsher, had a good stamp, that said this kashrus, that kashrus, you went and you bought yourself a pastrami sandwich. Turns out the guy's bringing in tarfus. Not my fault, I had a good hechsher.
Rabbi, if in the time Bet HaMikdash,
You bring a korban.
no, if a woman see a blood,
Bring a korban.
she asked the Kohen?
No, she asked the Rav. The Rav
They have
She has-
Rabbanim there?
Sure they have. They have a Bezin HaGodel. They have more Rabbanim than today. And more authority and smarter and better. So the shogig means that he should have inquired. So the thing is how come a person was over the vei b'shogig? It's not negaya. As I said, it's loy naga v'loy paga. So that's why a person has to bring a korban. Well, officially tarach b'drisha b'chakira b'achach yas tzarach kapora. What do you want from this guy? If a guy comes with and forces a piece of tarfus down someone's throat, he says to do tshuva. What should he do? He was forced. That's not called shogeg. That's called onus. The same thing with this man. She was a tohoina. It was not in the time of Esses. What's this double Loshon we'll talk about in a minute? Therefore, she's called an onus, and he's called an onus. On his shmata, her shmata, they found blood that potter. It was the time of the vessels. That's called a shgoga. Because it will say it was oina beinin, it's a vesachodesh, it's a flogan, and at that time it was with his wife. And they thought that they're not going to see blood, and they saw blood. That's called a shogeg.
What's the chiluk between this case and the first case?
Because here, Chazal said not to sleep with her. Because maybe she's going to see blood. And this guy...
Oh, so in the first case it was, they were over on the Shas...
No, the first case wasn't a regular day, and a clean day. If he was in with his wife on a clean day, and she saw, that's called a onus. But if he's with his wife on a day that he's supposed to be separated...
Oh, this is the second case.
That's the second case. So that's called shogig.
That's shogig did
That's shogig deraisa. That was called shogig.
Shogig.
He has to... He was over in the Rabbanan. But
right?
that's a separate thing. But he has to bring a korban because Lapoil, she became a nida. If she didn't become a nida, he's anyway can get makas mardus. But I mean, you have to have Eidim for that. It's not easy for that to happen. But the korban he has to bring. So again, if he was with his wife in the clean days, that's called the onus. If he's with her in the days he's not supposed to be with her, that's called shogig, and then have to bring a korban. So.
No, I'm saying the first case that we had, where he has to be, where she had it and she told him it's Mason.
Yeah.
Is that the first case of the Rambam or the second case?
In the Shulchan Aruch, the first case was she said it Mason. The Shulchan Aruch says he shouldn't slit out.
Right, but the question is, what was she before then?
Huh?
What status did she have?
Oh, so that's the Sheilos. What was the Pashtus? She was on a clean day.
But then how can we call it? How can we say it's Oiron Karas? In the second case here, where she also had blood Shas Maisa, he's an Oinus. What's the difference?
Oh, so the difference is because over there she told him. She told him Shas Maisa.
Oh, so he knew already.
So he knew. In the second case, he didn't know. What should he do? They saw afterwards.
But we're saying that the only Oinus comes after she tells him. Because if before it's the same case as the second case in the Rambam.
Well,
so
if she knows and doesn't tell him, then
right.
she has to do a korban.
I understand, but she knew and she told him Shas Maisa, right? So the difference between that and the case where they only find out afterwards is because he's bifnim.
The difference is that he's an oinus. What should he do? He doesn't know.
No, I'm saying when he's bifnim and she tells him, when we say he's not an onus, he's over on Koros.
Right.
Not like the second case in the Rambam.
He's not over on Koros. If he does it non-intentionally, he's not over on Koros.
No, but it's
a Koros. Therefore, he has to do tshuva and
right.
Right. He brings a korban as one say he fasts for 40 days.
In the second case, he doesn't have to bring a korban.
Second case doesn't have to bring a korban.
The difference is because she told him while he was inside.
Yeah.
Right. So in other words, what the fact that he knows while he's inside causes it to be a shayik mashenkin if it happens to the mafreya.
Yeah.
Because it was it like it's that like a heschadas in the second case. It's what's the
second case? Because that's the idea is what should he do? He doesn't know. He's not a novi. He doesn't know.
Right. Fine. And the first case because he knows why does he have to bring korban? The fact that he knows in the first case why does he have to bring a korban?
Because like this, we say a regular person doesn't accidentally end up sleeping in a furnace. Why did it never happen? Because a normal person doesn't accidentally walk into a fire. This guy says, I didn't know I'm not allowed to slit out. How come you didn't know? I'm not honest. And how to drive a car, you know? Yeah, I know.
So
how come you didn't learn Geshuas Daf Yud Zayin on Badalef?
It's shogig.
That's the thing.
What you don't know can kill you.
That should have known. If you're whatever, you're
no. Also legally in America, there's never a defense if you get pulled over for speeding. The fact that you didn't know the law, so you go to different states. Say, I came from New York, I didn't know.
But if you didn't know that the drugs that the doctor medicated you on had something to make you drunk, then you public.
It's a yotzim in a cloud.
I have a truth the guy who doing the shoes of his eye. It's not even from the yeshiva morning.
That's why you should come Sunday morning, basically.
You know, in the army they have sign. If you don't know the law,
right,
you're not out.
Right.
They have a big sign every place.
Right.
It's not
Yeah,
excuse.
this is very darkistic. Why in the first case you bring a korban, in the second case you don't. The same came out there.
Right.
The same thing. You just talking about a few seconds.
Right.
Oinus never has to bring a korban, right?
Oinus doesn't bring tshuva. Only a shogig does tshuva. Oinus is the same thing like a person was forced to swallow tarfus. He doesn't have to tshuva. So the nida behuda. If you did that, then we need to do a refresher course. If I say. We have to do a refresher.
For sure. My chavrusa class was falling asleep during my chavrusa,
Thank you.
and then learning Rabbi Blumenkrantz's
We do
book,
it, Archie.
which is very geschmack.
I'm going to see Rabbi hiking.
Rabbi Blumenkrantz's book in the large scope books.
We should make maybe what's it called? Shmois and the Shovim Tat. Maybe we should do a little refresher
For
thing.
the those that aren't Zaydis.
Okay, fine. Why? Zaydas should learn with their daughters.
They learn with their husbands.
Okay, das ist gerecht. No, thanks so much. Okay, so now the Nida Yehuda says that this din of Shulchan Aruch, the person called the honest, is only a woman that has a veses kavua. If the woman has a veses sheina kavua, which is most women today, it's hardly. It happens sometimes a woman falls into a veses kavua, but usually it will fall out of it eventually. Today, most women have veses sheina kavua. Nida Yehuda holds that such a woman has to do tshuva. Why does she have to do tshuva? So he doesn't explain that much, but the thing is like this: Shulchan Aruch, there's a long sugya in the Gemara if the people have to do bedika before and after tashmish. The Gemara says you have to do bedika before and after tashmish. Most of the Rishonim say
You don't have to.
that it's only applying letaharis, but for being with her husband, she doesn't have to. That's the way we pass on Shulchan Aruch.
Now,
However,
she shouldn't.
the Gemara even says a story that Rabbi Zayda and Rabbi Yehuda asked the question, let the woman check. So he said, no. Big deal, let her check. So he said, no, that if you're going to let her check, then we're scared that the husband sees that his wife is checking. He starts being scared that, something's happening.
And he won't have,
That's true.
And
be nervous.
Chazal want every good Jewish family to have 15 to 18 children. And B'meila, if this guy is going to be always libay noik for your poidish, then
Enough psychological problems.
it's not going to be good.
As
The
they
kids-
say, as the commercials Rahman al tell us all the time.
Okay, so B'meila, Chazal said, don't
Raise
do
my
it.
kids, what's this? What's eat?
B'meila, that's what Chazal said. But however, the Rambam learns a whole different thing in the Gemara and the Rosh, and the Rabbeinu Chananel, and they hold a woman that doesn't have a veses kavua is chayiv to check before and after. And it's brought in Shulchan Aruch, and the Alter Rebbe says, why is it brought in Shulchan Aruch? A Baal Nefesh should do it. Baal Nefesh should be machmir. How could you be machmir? The whole Shaklataya, the Rebbe Rashab said that perhaps it's because the Rebbeinu Nafsha, the crazy place, he says that the din of the Gemara is only if she checks on her own. But if her husband tells her to check, then there won't be libay noik for a poidish because he told her to check. So the Rebbe Rashab says maybe that's what the Alter Rebbe means. And that's what the Shulchan Aruch means by being the Shitta of Rabbeinu Chananel, that a person should tell his wife, she should check. I mean, this is anticlimatical, as you can imagine, If everyone was doing this, this would not be easy. But that's the way it's brought in Shulchan Aruch. A Baal Nefesh should do. A Baal Nefesh should tell his wife to check, and she should check. No Yehuda says, you went out of Baal Nefesh, you didn't check, so you have to do tshuva. That's a big chumrah from the Nida Yehuda. It's a huge chumrah. So the Rebbe Rashab disagrees. The Rebbe Rashab says that he disagrees with it in Shulchan Aruch, but he says that Lemaisa he has a svara for the Nida Yehuda because the Rambam holds even more than the Shulchan Aruch. The Rambam holds that even a woman that has a veses kavua, it says in the Mishnah that tznuah is boitkis atzma. So he holds that even a woman that has a veses kavua, she has to check also as a Baal Nefesh, as a tznuah.
But nobody does it.
No one does it, but the Rambam is medayik in his words when he says she's honest. Harei tahoira hoisa v'lo v'shaloi b'shas vista bal. So if tahoira means that she checked before. So even though we don't mask him to the Rambam, but at least in the case of a woman which doesn't have a veses kavua, which is most women today, so the Rambam holds that even a woman that has a veses kavua, she has to do tshuva if she didn't check before,
And she sees dam.
and she saw dam. The Rebbe Rashab leaves it with a tzorechim. Why does he leave it with
What's the point
tzorechim?
of Veses Kavua then? She's supposed to...
According to the Rambam, according to the Rambam, every woman that has no veses kavua is mechuyev to check.
Yeah.
And when it has a veses kavua, the Gemara says tznuah is boitkes, so she should check. We hold one level down. We hold a woman that has a veses kavua doesn't have to check altogether. A woman that doesn't have a veses kavua, Yiddish Shemayim, a Baal Nefesh should check. So, the Nida Yehuda says that if they found later blood, they should have checked. why weren't you a Yiddish Shemayim and check? Therefore, you have to do tshuva. That's not the Yehuda holds. So the Rebbe Rashab says that it's not exactly the same, like the Rambam, and I would explain it like this. According to the Rambam, Ravina Ravashi said that the way the Rambam learns the Gemara, that the woman is mechuyev to check. So if she didn't check, there's a problem here. So why didn't you check? You're not an honest. But according to us, right? But according to us, you're not mechuyev to check. You're only a Yerushalayim to be choishish for the shita of Rabbeinu Yochanan. So therefore, the Rebbe Rashab holds it's noita in the tshuva that he holds not to do tshuva, because he says the bottom line is that the women don't do it, and it's not a good idea to get started on a new chumrah because it's a very bad idea. Because he says the lepoil they weren't noyeg till now, so we shouldn't start it now. So because the women are not noyeg to check, so what do you want from her? So he's noita that she does not have to do tshuva. He was noita to the fact that he doesn't have to do tshuva. In this case, what happened was that she turns out she really did see blood before because it's in her underwear. More than a kegris, there's a huge amount of blood in her underwear. So he says that the fact is that when she saw that blood, there was no hargosha. The klal in the shas is, in order to be a nida deraisa, there has to be hargosha. A woman has to have like a regular period where she has a headache, or she has cramps, what blood that comes shalei b'hargosha is only metama derabona.
And it's also
some is derabona.
It's like both of a roiv because it doesn't happen in 100.
Even when
days.
it happens, that tumah is not a tumah deraisa; it's a tumah derabona.
Right.
So, and we spoke about this 2 years ago in
She's a
Kislev.
nida anyway.
She's a nida derabona. If she sees dam shaloi b'hargosha, she's a nida derabona. So he says that this person was over isa derabona b'shoigeg. Now there's a klal that the Nesiva says in Semaresh Lamadal and Chosh Mishpat that what happens if a person eats treif? Turns out he ate a piece of chazit. He has to do tshuva. What happens if he ate milk and meat that were cooked together? He has to do tshuva. What happens if he ate chicken cooked in milk? He didn't know about it. He came to a Yiddish house from Yid. They served him chicken. Turns out
it was over on
it's shogig derabon. He doesn't have to do tshuva. The Meshech Chacham explains why. Meshech Chacham says that there are certain things that the melech is makbid. You must do and must not do. So if you don't listen to the melech, it's terrible. But something the melech doesn't care. He says that the police, you have to listen to the police. The police go like this, you have to go like this. The police goes like this. So what happens? The police goes like this and you turn. So you end up in jail. So do you think the police care, the melech cares that you went straight or you turned like the Meshech Chacham? It's in Parshas Eikev. He doesn't care. He just wants that people should listen to the police. Otherwise, there'll be anarchy. The Eibishter says that Chol Hashayem V'Lechatasa and Chol Hashay Yerucha. So if a person, the Chazal say, light Chanukah, no, I'm not. So that's a chutzpah. But what happens if the person had a calendar and it's the first night Chanukah and he thinks it's really one day before Chanukah? A bissel shikr. He thinks it's Chav Dalet, it's really Chav Hey. He was not a chutzpanyak. If he's samished and he doesn't realize the first night Pesach and he didn't eat matzah, that's a chutzpanyak. The Eibishter said but this guy who's samished doesn't know it's the first night of Hanukkah, a shoygig derabanan doesn't need kapora. So the bottom line is that the Rebbe Rashab is matzia that a woman, even if she doesn't have a veses kavua, does not have to do tshuva.
However, she never had a hargosha.
Right. Now, it's very hard for a woman to have a hargosha or shas ma'isa.
Sorry, we just don't understand why we don't. Everything we always go to basa roiv, right? So the roiv of women who don't have a hargosha don't see dan. 99.9 out of 100
Good, but
women.
she did.
But she did. But only when my friend did she know. So why do we?
The shaila is it shoygig where you need kapora or is it onus?
Right, but I want to ask a different shaila. Why
The shaila goes down to is she chayiv to do bedika before?
Yes.
If she was chayiv to do bedika and she didn't,
Right.
now had she done bedika, she would have
And
known.
I'm asking why, since there's 99.9 women who don't see dam if they don't have a hargosha, even if she doesn't have a veses kavua, she shouldn't have to check because it's a
Well,
we go basa roiv and everything, and this is more than roiv. This is 99.9 out of 100 women.
there is a
see
klal
dam.
and alocha. The whole concept
Tashmish doesn't
of why
cause the
we
dam.
keep
Does the tashmish cause the dam?
yeah. That's why we keep the veses. The whole concept of keeping
But
the
it's not dam
veses.
neither.
It is.
So-
it is dam nida. The whole thing
The
is that
Rabbanan.
Chazal. No, but Chazal said that when the shamash goes in, that triggers
her veins.
the nidus to start. That's why we keep vesas afloga and oinabenis and vesas achodesh, because that triggers the dam to start coming. That's a trigger. And there is taka tshuva in the
Doesn't the
Chazal
B'dik
Sofer.
also trigger it, maybe?
No. Chazal hold that
Doing the
it's
same, similar thing?
No. Only the shamish that goes in, that's what Chazal hold. So therefore, if it was true that you have to be bedika, and she didn't, she would have to do tshuva. But since we paskin that she doesn't have to do bedika, therefore she doesn't have to do tshuva. And it just brings it, there's a Chassam Sofer that says, as there was a story that a woman, it was the end, it was like day 30, usually she says 30, 31, and it was day 32, she was still clean. She was feeling a little bit of cramps. She decided to go to bed with her husband. And then, afterwards, they saw dam on the sheets. Some Sofer says definitely they have to do tshuva. Maybe not 40 days, but he says, come on, you had some cramps, so you know usually a few hours before you get cramps, so why did you go to bed with your husband? So you have to do tshuva.
It's also, right? It's also if she had cramps, isn't it?
She shouldn't.
Is that called her gosha?
But she says she didn't know the cramps are really that. She had a stressful day. She thought her cramps was because she
No,
had
is that a
stress.
gosha, man?
She had a bad day.
Yeah.
What?
She always knows.
Sandwich.
But she claimed that she didn't know, she didn't understand, so he says at least they should fast for 2 or 3 days. And v'tzorech l'marek nafshe mekol achluch is chet, shelo yov echad shom oida pam de chet, v'yama anos taivas gufa, v'tainugu v'taivas heter, v'meli shmei Hashem yisborach shelo yigoshel gisachad v'sholom. The bottom line is that the Rebbe Rashab is noita l'kula, and versteht sich in this case, this question that was asked, it was l'kula, because they found the blood next morning. And the emes is that the Gemara says that the whole problem of being boidik is imkenyi libe noikve poirish. So definitely the case was, sometimes you're not allowed to tell someone to do tshuva. Because if you're telling, like in this case, if you tell a person to do tshuva, and they're very frum, so what are you causing? Exactly what Chazal is scared of.
The opposite, yeah.
That Chazal said that if you're going to, that v'tivdek, loy tivdek, libe noikve poirish. So if the case where a person is not supposed to do tshuva, if you're going to tell them to do tshuva, oh, you know what? Nish gefährlich. You want to feel good? Give $180 a base Menachem Mendel. But really, what you're doing is a terrible thing, because you're doing a terrible thing. Because now a person is very frum, and you're telling them to do tshuva, but you don't know what you're causing. That chas v'sholom he'll be poirish from his wife. And when the husband and the wife are together, that's a gewaldige inyan in kedusha. We don't know. We don't know these inyanim. These are very. The ish v'isha, the shchina shruya b'neiim, if you learn in the Reishas Chochma, so he says that the Odom Rishon before the Chet, when he was with his wife, he did it with the same kedusha that he did that he would do Anochas Tefillin. He realized that this was a Yichud Elyon, and therefore he did it with a Moededik kedusha. So when you're going to be Machmir now, when a Yid is Mesiached with his wife, there's unbelievable Yechudim. So Chatz v'Sholem, that should be in a way of Liboy Noikve Poirish.
Rabbi, when are you going to teach this for the woman? Woman has that show like this.
So there's
Individual.
Most women doesn't know that.
the Marsov was a rov in the city of Ostra, and then there was a Yid that came to him, and he said that he's having a dream every night. He had a partner, and the partner is calling him for din Torah. The partner is dead, and the partner is calling him for din Torah. What's the geshen? They were partners for many years, and this partner of his. So this man who was alive, he was partners with him. He was a Yefei Toya. That's the way the story tells it. And the Mele, no, please don't collect them. Leave it for a minute. Yeah. So the kid said he did he sent Geferlich Mamish like Yosef and Potiph's wife, but instead of a happy ending, was not such a happy ending. He was nichshel. It was a poritz and a pritzta and this. And then one day the shutaf was without the other shutaf, and she said, all the money that we did this whole week of business, I'll return all the money to you. But tonight, that you end up the story with Potiphar and Yosef the other way around. And they finished the story the other way around. Then he felt very guilty. So on the way back to the town, he was crying. His neighbors were crying. He said, because last night you were there. And the story of Potiphar and Yosef ended the other way. So he said, you know what? She gave me all this money. I'll give you the money, and you take that Veda. So he said, fine. I take them. So the shutuf takes the money, and they shake hands. And the shutuf now machaya, and Taka became was a huge amount of money, and he was what? It was a osher godel. Now the person that the person that did the aveda is getting dreams because the other shutuf that became wealthy died, and now he's coming to him from Bezdin Shamayla, and he says, "No, I want to. This was a bad deal." So he said, "You have to bring me to Din Torah." So he come to the Marsov. Marsov said, "Bring him to me to Din Torah." So
what did he want? He wanted to give him back the money.
Yeah, he didn't want the aveda.
He doesn't want the aveda. So they had a Din Torah by the Marsov.
But he already got Torah enough from the money.
He had. So the Marsov paskin
if you eat someone's
that it was too late. The Marsov paskin that since he already sold the aveda, so he said, "But this person's alive. He can still do tshuva." He says, "No, but at the time he felt very bad. Now it's years later. Who says he's going to do tshuva b'leiv shalom?
Unless he knows what he's going to do."
So the Marsov said, "I'm going to daven for you, and I was trying to do as many tikkunim as I could for you, but you can't. Once you sold your aveda, you sold your aveda."
But why did they need the Marsov down here? Who's going to take the one that was alive or the one that was dead?
The one that was that bought the aveda and got the wealth died. Now he wants to get rid of the aveda.
He's the one who came. The dead guy came to the Marsov.
Yeah.
So how can the Marsov? Why didn't he go to the Marsov? Why didn't he come out here?
Because the Marsov demanded that the case should come to him.
But the bigger price than the matter that could have demanded the same thing.
Well, quickly, one more thing. Someone asked this week that is a yid that's sitting. There was Dafka, a lawyer that asked. Two people asked a similar shayla. The last paragraph. The yid is sitting in jail for a terrible crime. Mamish Adava Maguna, a lawyer asked me. So a few people asked me this week a similar shayla. So a yid is sitting in jail for a Davar Maguna. He wants to know if he should help the yid get out of jail, but he's sitting in the jail for a terrible crime. So is it
alleged crime?
Alleged crime. The lawyer asked if he should help this person the pidyon shvuim. Shulchan Aruch says. Pidyon shvuim, koidem leparnosas aniyin lechatoisem ve'ein mitzvah gedoyla ke pidyon shvuim. So the shayla is this also din of pidyon shvuim. So the look in the Gemara Baba Kama of Kufiyat Zayin Amadal. Ahu gavra da beboy achve ativna lechdechavre. He also lekamei derav amar loy techve. He wanted to show the government he had a dispute with his friend on a boat, and he said he's going to go to secular court. So Rav said, "Don't go to secular court." I'm like, "Machivna, I'm going to secular court," and he didn't listen to Rav. Yosef of Kahanaka made Shamta Lekui. He gave him a zetz on his neck and he killed him right in front of Rav. So he said to Rav, "I'm going to secular court," and Rav said, "Don't go." He didn't listen. He says, "I'm going to go." So Rav Hana gave him a zetz on his neck and killed him on the spot.
Like Meir Kahana.
What does it? Rav. So Rav said, "You did a good job. Good job." It's a pasuk in Eichel. Marsov azek if shenachol b'michmer. Ein merachim imalav. Af mama shel Yisrael kivin shenachol b'yad goyim. Ein merachim imalav. If a yid even has an issue with money with a goy, and he ends up in jail, Rachmana litzlan ein merachim imalav, and his whole life could be in danger. And that's the way Pascal Shulchan Aruch Shimon Chosh Mishpat Shin Peches If Yud Muter lahareg amoiser afilu bezman hazeh u'muter lahareg koydem shiyimser. El kishamar reini moiser ploini v'gufim amoin afilu moment kal. They have a dispute for $500, and he says, "I'm going to secular court." Hitir atzmer lemisa. However, masrim boy v'oimrim loy al timser. They have to give him hasra and say, "Don't do the masira." Im heiz ponav omer loy elakim sereno mitzvah lahargu. V'kol hakoydem lahargu zocha.
Wow.
So
So
Mela is this shaila. The Mela in this shaila, even if it's emes that he did a ma'isa maguna, but the goyish court is called jail is called kesum machmer, because Jews will get a rough treatment, and you don't know their life is in jail.
That's true.
Mela, there is a mitzvah pidyon shvuim. A mitzvah chiyuv gomor.
No matter any jail today.
Yes.
Because this is in the times of tomorrow.
Now, anything. Look at
So there's a story in the Ben Ish Chai. I'm going to take a story in the Ben Ish Chai. Ben Ish Chai tells a story like this. It's a Parshas Lech Lecha.
Those getting animated.
Oid Yosef in the Sefer Oid
I
Yosef
heard
Chai.
this last night on the radio.
Yeah,
So there was once a yid that was arrested.
Let
There
the
was
Rabbi
once a
finish.
yid that was arrested, and Ma'aseh b'chochem echad mekubel godel, that he was arrested and he was in jail for 30 days. After 31 days in jail, And he was in solitary confinement. He was a tzaddik otzum, and he knew kol ha-Torah kula bal peh. What can he do in jail? So he didn't have talis till nothing. He had hardly to eat. So he sat 18 hours a day and learned Torah, and he was machadash chidushim. And he was in a different world, as if he's not in jail. After 31 days, they took him out of jail, and they said, "Oh, it was an accident. Go home." So that was like terrible.
To go back.
Mela when he was in jail, but now, so that night he had a dream, and he saw a yid with a long white beard. So he asked the yid, it was a Leonov. He said, "What happened? Why was I in jail?" So he said, "Look behind you." Behind him, he saw 3 groups of children, and they looked identical, like clones. They looked like him. So he said, "What is this?" So he said, "You should know that these are Netzutzes Kedusha from the Sheilos of your neshama. That's why they look like you." They were sitting, these Netzutzes Kedusha were sitting in this place, and there's no way to take them out unless with a deep, deep kavanah. So therefore you ended up in solitary confinement, and you learned Torah b'asmod b'shkida otzum, and therefore you were mevared all the netzutzes, and because there were 3 types of netzutzes, for every nitzutz you need 10 days, so therefore you were there for 30 days. And he says that this Yid wrote later a sefer based on all the chidush Torah, and they published later that sefer.
But you couldn't put on film for 30 days.
Yeah, and it was kedai to get out these. And this Avarevna has a beautiful story. He says that there was a Yid came. They told the story to Reb Chaim. He says, and he has spectacular stories. There was a Yid in Eretz Yisrael, he said, that came, and he said that it was at night, and the police in Israel, they came and they arrested him. They brought him in the jail in Ashkelon. Was sitting and learning by night. It turned out it was mistaken identity. Mamish in the morning they came and they said, apologize. He said, no, don't worry, it's good. I said, it's good? Yeah. He said, it's very good. What happened? He said that he was in a cell with someone else. So they said, Shalom Aleichem, what are you here? I don't know. Why are you here? So he said, so the guy said he's a Yid from Edus Mizrach, and he was not religious. He was engaged. He said there was a thing in the house, and he gave a few good patch to his kala. And the neighbors came and they called the police. But he said, don't worry, I'm going to go back and I'll be Vayeshev and we're going to get married. I said, why did you hit her? So he said, I'll tell you the story. She was married to my brother, and they had a son named after my father. And the son is a cute boy, I love him. And he said, I'm a wealthy man, I'm not married, I have no children. My brother passed away. I felt terrible for the Yosem and for the woman, she's a poor woman. So I said, I'll do the mitzvah of Yibum, like in this week's Parsha.
She had a kid.
He was an Amores there at Isa. Wow. He thought he's doing a big mitzvah. So this Talmud Chacham says, Rebbeinu Shalom, she has a son, it's Eishes Ach, it's also. The rabbis. You know the story, they say there was this Yid Zalman, pushed the Yid in Shul, in Zim Kippur, and the person fainted. So the Rav says, the Balagola, take him quickly, take him to the other end of town, to the hospital. He says, Rebbe, it's Zim Kippur. He says, Zalman, go! No, Rebbe, I can't. I'm hungry. Can I have a sandwich? Zalman, take your sandwich and go. No, but Rebbe, when I drive, I'm nervous. I need to smoke a cigarette. Zalman, take your sandwich, your cigarette, and go. He says, Rebbe, no, but can I grease the wheel? Zalman, grease the wheels, take a sandwich, take your cigarette, and go. And he walks out his shoulder and mutters, I always knew the rabbis were hiding a lot of stuff from us. It turns out you can really have a sandwich, you can smoke, and you can grease the wheels that you've given. The rabbi were hiding all this information from us till now. Verstehst? So this guy thought that it's a Baba Maisa, that there's really a mitzvah of Yibum. So this guy sat with him a whole night and explained to him that there's no mitzvah, it's an Aveda. So by the morning, the Yid, they exchanged telephone numbers, and he convinced the Yid Taki, he broke off the shidduch. He came to Reb Chaim Kanievsky to tell him the story. So Mamash Hashgoch El Yonah, he ended up in jail for one night for only one reason. So Mamash reminds you, this week is the Chag Geulah the Alter Rebbe, and the Tzemach Tzedek says that the Alter Rebbe was in jail for 53 days, b'diuk, connected the 53 days of the 53 Parakim and Tanya. And it was the Alter Rebbe said that the Magid and the Baal Shem Tov came to visit in the jail, and he asked them what's the story, why he's sitting in jail, and they told him because there's a kitrug against his thing of revealing Torah Chassidus. So he said, and if I go out, should I stop? They said, Adrab, if you go out, that means that you won, and Adrab, you should say much more. And Taka, after he came out, he said much more Chassidus because he realized that his Shita was Menatzeach, that you should teach Chassidus not only to Yechidus Gula but to every Yid, And not only you should teach Pnimis HaTorah, you should teach it in the way of Chochmah Bina V'das. But for that, he had to have Mesiras Nefesh to sit in jail. His life was B'sakona. But through his life being B'sakona and sitting 53 days in jail, it's not the story of the Alter Rebbe, to us there's a joy, but there's also a pachat otzom. In those days it was take nothing for a desire to go kill someone. And the Alter Rebbe was brought in a black coach and in a jail which was mamish reserved for the worst of the worst of the worst. And it's unbelievable because if you go today, there's the jail, you can't go into, you don't know where jail, but the jail is still there, and now there's a museum. And they also have a shtickla wax museum where they have I think 12 or 15 wax personalities, figures of 15, all of them got their heads chopped off, besides one, and that's the Alter Rebbe. It's unbelievable. And they did it pretty good with the beard and all. It's not bad. Wow. They have a picture. They have a wax thing of the Alter Rebbe based on his picture.
Did they say he was the one whose head didn't get chopped off?
I can't read Russian. I don't know what it says. There's a whole thing there written.
Oh wow!
The Rebbe said they should measure the room because
he wanted to know they should measure the room because they want to know what's the nafkamina, because that's a bigger gilui. What does it mean? Because it's a bigger gilui. If it could come that Lilionovi could be revealed spiritually or could be revealed to a person like this. So what's the difference? The difference is if it's megilui begashmi, it's a stronger gilui. It came down to the lower place. It must be from a higher place. So this was the intense gilui that the Alter Rebbe, so that was kedai for the Alter Rebbe to be in jail, abi to bring out the netzukas kedusha. So that's the yovad. But l'chatchila, when a yid is in jail, it's a mitzvah, definitely a mitzvah pidyon shvuim. Ebesh shall helfen that from this week, Yutas Kislev, that we should be boida all the netzukas kedusha which are shavui and olam echiyam v'atzim lishpat azareisa.